Hello friends, welcome to Intuites.
Let's begin the class.
So any questions from the previous class? Any type of anything you have?
No, Samir.
Yeah, good.
Yes.
That's great. So these are the couple of questions I have just noted down as of now, and I will assign this to you so that you can submit this assignment. But the basic questions are there, but whatever you have selected, whatever you understand from today's till now, just consolidate 10 questions here. So you just need to write it. Okay, and don't use the other than that. Whatever you learn, suppose here is saying that year 2020. Don't use any date function and all because we have not learned that. So anybody knows any date function, that is fine, but don't use it. So whatever is there, you've done it. That I want to write it. I will assign this task by end of the today, in the sense after the class. Okay. All right. So on that note, let's start with topic called aggregation. What do you mean by aggregation, guys? What is aggregation exactly? No, am I audible?
Yes.
Yes,
Yes, Samir. I was
Okay.
talking on mute. I'm sorry.
Okay.
means
Yeah. What?
adding up things.
Okay. Adding up thing. Only adding up thing.
Collection
Okay.
of related items.
Right. So any can be happen. So any kind of calculation, summarization when you are doing it, that is called an aggregation, right? So there are basic functions are there in the aggregates in SQL, like your count, sum, average, max, mean. So these are the basic function I have. Suppose I'll say select my count of star. I'll discuss this after this, immediate after this one. I will discuss about the count. There is an interview question will be there that on the count. That is very important. Okay. So let's take select count star from my orders table. So it will give you the number of records available on this particular table. Okay. 9994. So now on that note again, I'll write select sum of my profit from orders. So it will give you the sum of the profit which is available. Like that, we can use max, mean, average. We can do that. Okay. But when you use an aggregate function, okay. So now let's try and understand one thing here. Let's start from my orders table. So we have a couple of columns are there. Okay. So here what I need in this case is that let's take I need the sum of sales, which is nothing but my total sales across different regions. Okay, I have a region column also there. So where per category, let's take by category I need. The question is very simple. Total sales per category. Okay, this is my question. I want to answer it. Right. So total sales is nothing but I can write select my sum of sales as I can give a alias, right? Total sales from my orders table. I can do that. So I will get my total sales. Now he's saying that total sales per category. So I want the category as well. So I will say not here, sorry. So I will say here my category. Category and sum of sales as from my order table. When you execute this, right? This is a very basic thing we need to understand here. This is the error we will get it. Okay. So here it is saying that the order category is invalid in the select list. First of all, it's saying that it should not be there here. Why it should not be there? Because it should be either aggregated or non-aggregated. And aggregate columns should be followed by the group by clause. So whenever you are using an aggregate function like this, sum, max, mean, count, and along with that, if you are taking a non-aggregated column, which is just a supportive like category, subcategory, is not aggregated, then after your from clause, okay, you need to give a group by clause. That's a new introduction to the clause is called the group by. So we need to introduce a group by clause here. Group by. What are the column I need to take? I need to take only the non-aggregated column here. then only it will work. So what will happen in this case? It will distinct categories. Okay, distinct categories. So I have three categories here. So one is my office supplies, one is my furniture, one is my technology, and based on that, so total sales will be get scattered. Okay. Any questions? You can ask me here only, because this is the way going forward. So this, like, the main thing will start after this group by join, and there will be lots of questions will be there.
No questions.
You have it. Very good. Now, if I add here my, let's say, I want my category and subcategory as well. Then what I need to do here? If I run this,
It will throw an
again,
error.
it will throw an error. So the thumb rule is how many columns used in your select query, which is non-aggregated, that many columns needs to be present in the group by. So if we are using two here, subcategory and subcategory, we need to put this much only. Okay. All right. Makes sense.
Yeah.
Suppose another thing I have to do. Suppose again I want to aggregate by, let's take segment here. So here I need to put segment as well. Okay. But the problem is, suppose you have 6 to 7 somewhere around the group by column, non-aggregated column. And in the group by, you need to specify category, subcategory, segment, all these things, right? And there is another shortcut is there that we can do that. Let's see SQL Server works on that context. Like I can give like this also. So let's run this. Here it is not working in this case. This is the problem in the SQL Server. But if you go to other database like the Snowflake or the Redshift and all, right? In this way, it will work. Now, in the sense, we can do group by 1, 2, 3. In the sense, how many columns I have here, that many column I can put. So I can count it. So here I have 3 columns, I can put 1, 2, 3. Suppose I have a 7 column, I can put 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. All right. So this is one of the trick if you are working on other databases. SQL Server is not supporting. I tried it this one, but this is 100% will work in other database like Snowflake, Redshift, and other modern databases. But this is one of the shortcut. We don't need to give exactly the name of the columns in the group by. Okay, makes sense?
Yes.
Sir, can you please
Okay,
repeat that? I didn't get that once.
which one?
Samir, I have a quick question. So this
Go ahead.
or group by 1, 2, 3 will work for the modern database, or you say
Yep, it
Snowflake?
will work. Yeah, Snowflake,
Snowflake
it
and
will
all.
work.
This group by 1, 2, 3. How
How?
are you
1,
going
2,
to
3. Here it will not work. In SQL Server, it will not work. That is 100%. What I'm saying that suppose in this statement, right, you have 7 to 8 columns are there, right? So logically, what we are saying that we are specifying the column names here, right?
We have to include them here.
Yeah. So in the modern databases right away now, if you compare the Redshift or even the Snowflake, all these things, no, this feature will work. So how many column I have here? So that many column I can put as 1, 2, 3. Suppose I have 4 columns here. I can count and I can put group by 1, 2, 3, 4.
Which
Non-aggregate.
means
This
it
will
will
work.
automatically assign the number to the order it
Correct.
has given this
The
query.
correct. The order which is there in the select, that will be the order in the group by. That's it. Yeah. So, but this is not possible right away here. But just make sure that it is possible. If you are working on a real time on a Snowflake, you can try it out and it will work. Okay. That's it. Got the point? Okay. Now, so let me run this. Okay. Now here I want to introduce one more. So category and sum of sale. Just see the amount, whatever the amount is coming right now. Okay. And we know one where clause also there. So where clause is what? Where clause, just remember the where clause is used. Why where clause will be used? Where clause will be used to put a
Give a
filter
condition.
on the row, to condition, but that will be calculated for each row in the table. What does it mean? Suppose on the whole table, I will say sales is greater than 100, just for example, okay? So let's start from the order where sales is greater than 100. Then how many rows I have? 994 rows I have in this table. So it will go to each and every row of the table and will check the condition. Okay, so first it will go to this column. Okay, sales is greater than 100, no. If it sales is greater than 100, no. So whichever is satisfied by each and every row by scanning up completely 994 rows, those many rows it will give you. That's the way where works. Okay, you should be make sure on this one. So where always work at row level of the tables. Okay, very good.
Yes, sir.
And when you have a select statement, then I have a from, right? Then I have a group by. Suppose in this one you want to fit something as a where, or you want to write something where. Then always remember where should be come before group by. It should not be come after group by. Okay. If you don't have any where clause, that is fine. After from, you can write it out. But anyhow, suppose syntax is something like I want to write where as well. Then I need to write the group by post to the where, not before to that. I can write here where. So I will say sales is greater than, let's say, 1000. So in this case, what happened exactly? So first of all, it will go to the all the column of the table. Okay. Then it will filter completely 994 rows are there, right? So let me do that in this case. So we have normally, you need to you need to understand this. So normally I have 994 rows, correct, in my table. Now when I'm putting a filter here where sales is greater than 1000, then how many rows I'm getting? We're getting around 468 rows. Okay. So what happened here? It will be 994 rows. Then after that, the filter will apply. That will be giving you 468 rows. Then on that 468 rows, the group by will happen. Distinct category, and based on that, it will give you the sum of sales. This you need to be clear on that. Okay. So if I execute now, the amount will be very less. If I don't have this logic, this I commented now, the amounts are will be different. See, amounts are very big. But when you put a where clause here, the amount are less. Why? Because already we have filtered the data from 994 to 468 rows. This should be very much clear on this. Okay, we are good on this.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now the next thing is, suppose finally we got it, and here let's take. I'm taking the subcategory. Better, I will take it. That is a good. Let's take on the subcategory. And even group by also the subcategory. I need some good amount of data actually. So let's run this. So I am getting it. Now suppose somebody asks you that I need the total, wherever the total sales or sum of sales is greater than, let's take 10,000. We are having a total sales is nothing but my sum of sales only, right? For each subcategory. That I want to filter is that sum of sales should be greater than 10,000. Okay. So that if that case happened, how we will write it? Suppose normally, if I ask you now that this question is that I want to write the sum of sales, not sales. Sum of sales will be greater than 10,000. Where I need to write here? Will I write in the where clause? Getting the question, guys? Please confirm that. Any confusion? Do let me know.
Can you repeat the question, Samir, please?
Yeah, simple question. Up to now it is clear.
Yes.
Whatever. Okay. Now I'm saying that I need the subcategory sum of sales, and where the sum of sales is greater than 10,000.
So you don't want to know anything about the sales that you have given as a where clause?
No, my
Sales.
question is very simple. I'm
Okay.
very question. I'm question is very clear. I'm saying that the subcategory and the sum of sales I need in the output, and my sum of sales should be greater than 10,000.
The where class only we give you. Thank you.
Will give you okay.
Where sum of
So
sales.
here greater than 10,000. Think once before doing it. Where
Shouldn't we give it as
clause?
sum of sales rather than sales?
Okay. First of all, yeah, I'll come to that. But if you give like this, what will happen? Just
We will
think
be
once and tell me.
reducing the number of rows further less.
Correct. But we are not checking that which is the sum you are not doing, and we are not like comparing. We are just
Yes.
reducing the number of records, which is the sales for the each row we are checking, and whichever is greater than 10,000, that we are picking up, and finally we are getting sum of that rows. But that is not my requirement. My requirement is I need the sum of sales should be greater than 10,000. Okay, this you need to be very clear what exactly you are doing it here. Everybody is clear on this page? Question is clear, right?
Please,
How
Yes.
to
please
implement?
con-
Let's see. In the mind, it should be going on, like how you are doing it. Now, the same thing, suppose you want to do it. So but it told that we can put a where clause sum of sales. Let's do that. So I will say like this: sum of sales greater than to 10,000. And if you try to run this, it will come with an error. Another thing we need to remember that in the where clause, we can't put any aggregation. As I told you that where clause will work row by row on the table. Where clause will never aggregate in it, and we can't put a filter in the where clause which is aggregation. Aggregate is there already. Okay, that is not possible. Okay, so here what exactly were happening? So let me comment this. If I want to use this filter, then I want to introduce to another clause which is the having clause. And having clause is the existence of the having clause will be there when you are using a group by. Without group by, there is no meaning of the having, because finally, if you run this, no, we are getting the total sales based on different groups for the subcategory. And on that group, I want to do a filter, right? So now the total sales is based on my subcategory. On that group, I want to define a condition like sum of sales greater than 10,000. That in that time, I will use my having clause, and having clause will work, will write after your group by. I'll say having sum of my sales greater than 10. Now, if I run this, we'll get all the records which are greater than 10,000 on this group completely. This is really important, guys. I'm doing it one more time again. Okay, I'm putting where as well. I need to I need to explain you properly. Okay, so now I have a two conditions I have, if you think like that. Okay, so now first of all, tell me how many records I have in my table. Total, I have 999 rows. Okay. So in the from orders, I will have only 999 rows order. Then I am putting a condition on the where clause. So where clause will go to each 999 rows, scan each and every row, and it will check whether that sales, normally sales, this column will check each and every row whether it is more than 10,000 or not. Let's see any 10,000 we have. Otherwise, I will change it. Okay, we have records almost around only 5 rows of data I have. Okay, so from the 999 I have 5 rows, reduced to the 5 rows. Up to now it is good.
Yes.
Okay, now how many categories we are getting? 5 rows, and all are technology groups. Sorry, subcategory. We are copiers, machines, copiers. So subcategory, how many distinct subcategories we are getting from this?
Two.
If I say
Two.
2. So if I do now in this case, I will get 2 only. One is copier, one is machines. And for that, the total sales will be summed up. Make sense? How it is working? Let's try and understand. So what is doing it? So I have copiers. So 3 copiers are there, right? One row, second row, third row, and fourth row. There are 4 rows are there for the copiers, and one row for the machine. So what it will do when it will group by this, right? This copier will be one row, and whatever the sum of cells I have, right? So it will be 11,200 plus 14,000 plus 10500 plus this one. So this all will be summed up and it will give you one record for the copiers. Alright, same for the machine that it is one row only, it will give you this data. That's what it is happening when you run the group by. Making sense up to here?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Okay. Now, once you got this information, now we are in a group. We are not in the table. We are now in a group. On this one, suppose you want to put any condition. Now, on this Quran, we have a subcategory, we have a sum of cells, which is total cells. On this one, suppose I want to give a condition, then I can use my having. So having, let's take something sales is greater than 50,000 somewhere. Yeah, 50,000. Then which row will come? Only copiers, right?
Copiers.
Because this is,
Yeah.
this makes sense. This needs to be printed on your head always. Where to use where to use group by, and where to use the having clause. Just remember, having clause will be used when you have a group by, and if you want to put a filter on that group, then we will use the having clause. Where clause, when it will be used? Where clause will be used when you want to reduce the number of records, and it will work row by row on the table. Okay? Any questions up to here? We are good?
And Samir, when should we use group by?
When you will use the aggregate function.
When we are using aggregate function. Okay.
Aggregate function with non-aggregate columns.
Non-aggregate
Then
function.
we will do. Okay. All right. So you understand this very much. Good. So based on that, this group by havings, all these things, there will be 1,000 questions will be there for you. Okay. Because that's the way it works. Industry work with group by, where, then joins, subqueries, and all these things, right? So that's the basic questions will come up. So before jumping into that, we'll do so many exercise on this. I want to discuss about a very important interview question. They will ask you once. I saw into this question, like out of 10, if you consider 5 to 6 times maximum, this question will be asked. Okay. So here the question is, I will say, put a count of star from my order table. So it is giving me the number of records on my table, which is nothing but 994 records. All right. So they will ask you one question here, is that instead of star, I'll say 1. What will be now? Am I audible?
Yes, yes.
Is it the first column?
It will just give one.
It will just give 1. Okay. What else? Answer. Please put in your answer.
First column?
First column. Okay. First column 1. Anything else?
It doesn't consider, I think.
It will not consider. It will give you the same out. Both are will give the same out. There is no change at all. It will give you this also. It will give you the number of records. Okay. Even I will put 5. Doesn't matter. It will give you same. How? You need to understand that. Okay. So
Yeah.
actually we have a basic thing that we understand that count star means all records. It's not like that. If you can put a count 1, also count 2, also count 5. But industry always put count star or count 1, so that you will get the number of records from a table. But it doesn't mean that we can put others. That's the trick. They will ask you that what is the output, and people will be get confused on that. So here exactly what happened. If I ask you this or answer this question, right? Exactly what happening in this case and in this case. So count star. We are saying the count star. So logically, I have how many rows of data? I have 994 of rows data, right? So on the each and every row, okay, it is doing like this: star, 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 till 994 rows. And finally, it is counting that star. So it is giving me 994 rows. So if I, instead of star, if I give 1, then for each row, it will be 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1. Then how many rows it will calculate? 994 rows. If I give 5 here, for each and every row, it will be 5, 5, 5, 5, 5 till 994 rows. Then now we are counting of the 5 for that. So how many records? Total number of records only, right? This makes sense here?
Yes.
Nice. Okay. Good. Any questions up to now? Okay, right? Okay, so another, this is important. Just remember this, when I will finish it up the joins, then I will ask you another tricky question on this count only, giving different join conditions. That is also an interview question. One more interview questions will be there in this case is, let me write this question. So I have the region, then I have the cells. Let's take, imagine that these are the two columns I have in my table. Okay, I have east, then let's take east. And suppose I have a data 200, then I have a null, then I have, let's say, 200. These are the three records I have in my table. Okay. And what we are doing here in this case, select, let's take region, comma, average of my sales. I have not created this table. You can do it and you can try it out, this logic, but I'm just doing it. Okay. Right out. Average underscore sales. Let's take. So since we are, let's take from the demo table. This time I'm taking a demo table. There is no demo table here. Group by region. This will write it, right? To get the average.
Average sales as average sales.
That's fine. Without as also you can give it.
It will
With
work?
space also you can.
Okay, okay.
And group by region. So just let me know what will be output for this. What will be my output?
200 only.
Will be 200.
It will not consider null, or it
Okay,
it
how?
takes
Okay, output will be, let me just put this. Output. So we'll get region and sales, right? Average sales, something like that we'll get. Output will be like this, right? And this will be my east because I'm doing a group by, so I'll get only one east. And what will be my average sales here? 200 or 400 or what? What will get? Go ahead, guys.
200. I'm thinking
Okay, 200. Okay. Or any other answer?
200.
200. Anything else? Anybody have anything?
I think 400 by
400 by, so how much?
66.6. If you take
133.
as, if you take 400 by 3, 66.6.
400 by 3 is 133, right?
Is it? Sorry.
Yeah, correct. That's correct. 130. Okay. So anyway, doesn't matter. But why whoever is answered 200, why you think it will be 200, and who answer 134, why you think that it will be 134?
Because the number of rows are 3. Number of entries are, we have 3 entries.
Mm-hmm.
So sum by 3. So it
Okay, sum by 3. So normally average is what? The sum of amount divided by the number of
number of
rows, right? That is the average. Yeah, exactly. So here, if I consider the sum of numbers, this is 400 and number of rows I have 3. Normally it should be 134. But in this case, the output will be 200 only. Because
Yeah,
average
null
function
doesn't
will
have
not correct. The average
null.
function will not consider null as a record. Okay. So if you use the average, it will give you 200. And if you define in a different way, something like this, I'll say sum of my sales divided by my count of sales. Then it will give you 134. But if you use the average, it will not give you the 200. Okay. This makes sense?
Somewhere we can use the collage function, right? The null value function. Convert null into the zero, that's
Yes, but
average.
we can do that. But normally, I'm not using the null. Null is into consideration right now.
Yeah, because okay, we can use the n null function. If the value
College
is there, we
also
can keep the
correct.
value, or we can consider as a zero. So then in that case, right, this will
Yes, we
value of
can
the
do that.
zero, then it's a
Yes,
400 divided by
yes,
3.
yeah,
That
we
way.
can do that way. Yeah, yes, we can do that in that way also. But the question was different now. Yes, we can do that. Yes, we can do that. And what does Murugan is saying that we will discuss that also, college function. But not right now. This is the answer for you guys. Okay, makes sense?
in this example, which is correct, sir? Like, is it going it by logically this one, or
Sorry, come again. The interview is expecting about the answering of the average. If you're using average, you can say that average will not consider the nulls. That's it. He is expecting.
okay? But for ideally it should be 134, but the answer will be 200.
200, yes. Because of the aggregate function will not consider the null. And we have not discussed the null handling right now. If you want to
Okay.
handle null different way, there are number of ways to handle it. That we'll discuss it. Okay. So
Okay, sir.
whenever null is there, you can put some zero or is null, coalesce. So many functions we have to handle the nulls. So that we'll see it. Okay. Now one more task I want to ask you. This is also, let's understand. You got this question. Okay. Now let's take another example here. Let's say I have a data like this. Let me put it in an Excel file. That will be better. No, let me put it here. The question is, let's say I have a chairs, then I have some date. Okay, let me write it. And this also we can create the table and do it. Okay, and sales is 100. Then I have chairs 2019. Let's take 10-10. This is the order date. Okay, and the sales is, let's take 200. Then I have, let's take bookcases. There is an amount of 2019 01 300. Then suppose I have another bookcases here. I have 2020 and 01 400. Okay, so let's say this is my category, subcategories. This is my order date. This will be my sales amount. Okay, so here I want to do a sum of sales. Okay, sum of sales by my subcategory, where or the orders are greater than order date greater than 2020 01. Okay, then what will be your output in this case? What do you think the output? First of all, question is clear. Let me know if you are not good with the question. Then I will try to explain the question. Then we can answer the question also.
600.
How
Oh,
it will
subcategory.
be?
Oh, sorry, subcategory. So chairs and bookcases are categories or subcategories.
Yes. Let's take this is subcategories one. Fine.
So date is 2020-01-01. So the last record bookcases doesn't come.
Mm-hmm.
So sum of sales with respect to subcategory. So chairs will be 300 and bookcases will be 300. So total sales if I take,
Mhm.
so total sales if you take 600 altogether.
600 will come. It will be 600. Okay. And what about the order date?
Order date you have given, order date you have given greater than, sorry, so only 400. I'm sorry, I took it as less.
Its order is greater than 400. Okay. So output will be bookcases 400, you are saying?
Yes.
What else?
There will be
Anybody?
no output.
No output. Okay.
400 even I feel.
400. Everybody have 400. Anybody wants to change it? Okay. I will not give this answer right away. I want you just to create this table as simple only and just run it this query. Like select subcategory and sum of sales from this table, whatever may be, and group by the subcategory and put this order date, or I can say the max order date, max of order date greater than, and give me the output tomorrow, whether you are getting a 400 here or you are getting something else. So that your group by in your having clause will be funda will be clear by doing this. This looks like data will be giving you 400, but it will not. It will give something else. Okay. Can you create this and try it out? Not now, in your hometown, whenever you are practicing. Possible?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Just create 3 columns, very basic, just like whatever I've given you. So category, dates, and sales, and just do that. Simple. Okay. Any questions? Okay. So you can try this out, this question. So this is an overview about your the groups and your aggregation. So we should be very clear that whenever you are writing it, so it should be start with the select, then your from clause will come, and if there is a where clause, it will be come up. Then after that the group by, after that the having. And if you want to use the order by sorting and all, then I can use last anything. Okay, order by. Let's take total sales. This we can do it. And let me think, write something very interesting here. So if I run this, we'll get some output, which is absolutely fine. So here, if you see one thing here, in the order by clause, I used total sales, which is the alias of this. What is total sales exactly? Total sales is nothing but my sum of sales only. I'm giving a name to this, correct? And I can use this alias or the column which is specified in the order by clause. But if you want to use the same thing in your having clause, it will not work. It will give an error. Okay, invalid column. Why? Because when the execution started, right, it will start from here. It will the first execution. Then there is if there is an where clause, then it will execute the second. This is the second. Then this will be your third, then this will be your fourth, and immediately group by having and select everything will work. This is 5. So by the time having is running, I have not run this. So when having is running, I don't have any total sales. So after having, when the select is running, that time I will have a column called total sales. So finally, this will execute on the 6th one. So when the order by is getting executed, by that time I will have a column called total sales. That's why alias can be used inside your the order by clause, not in the where clause on the group by or having, because that will be executed before to that. You just remember this point. All right, this is clear. Is this clear?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. This is about your, let me save this file. Now let's try to discuss about very important this group by having and another concept of joins. You will get ample amount of question when you will go for a SQL interview. Okay, the question will be evolve around these three only and couple of other topics only, but let's discuss about the joins. Okay, so as of now, when you are taking the data, right, we are taking from one table only. When there is a requirement of taking the data from more than one table, right, then in that case the join will be getting considered. So here let's take an example of I have two tables here. So this select star from my orders table, my order table. So here basically we have all the orders which are placed by the customer and what are the product got sold. Okay, here the basic information is there and you already created this. Another table I have where select start from my returns table, where I have some couple of order ID which got returned. Return could be any region, could be wrong items or whatever may be the region. So there are the bad quality, wrong region and others. There are three return regions are there. This table I will give you and you can create this table as well. Okay. Any questions on these two table? What is order table? What is return table?
No doubt.
Can you repeat that somewhere?
Nothing. Order table is where you are ordering anything,
Okay.
and return is any product from this order got returned for any of the region. We can return some order also, right? Yeah. So basically, the join here. So join means you want data from this two table. So basically, if I write these two syntax, I'm getting first output from my first table order. Second output is coming from my returns table. But in a single output, if I want both the records from the order table and from my returns table, then I need to do join. How do I do join here? So I will remove this part, second part, and orders, I will write like this. I will write two tables here. I will put join. Okay, orders, join, returns. Then I need to give a condition on what basis I should be joining this table. So if you see both the tables have order ID and order ID. So this is the basic thing we should have in a join condition. That should be a common column. Based on that, we can do the join between two different tables. Okay. So here I can say orders dot my order ID equals to my returns dot my order ID. Alright. And if you execute this, just think like up to here, up to profit. This is the data we are getting from order state, right? And this order ID and the return region is coming from my which table? Which table it is coming up, guys?
It's combining both the tables and you're
So
getting
I'm
it.
saying
Orders
these
and
two last two column are coming from which table?
From return table
Return table. Until profit,
is from the order table.
order table. Correct? You understand this point?
Yes.
yes.
Now one thing, and here in case of join, right? The table alias is very important. What is table? We know the column aliases. So any column you are writing and you are putting a column alias here, just like this. In this case, the table alias is why important, because the tables names are sometimes very lengthy. So in this case, order and returns. And each and every time you want to refer to the particular table on column name and to say orders dot order ID, returns dot order ID. Instead of that, I can put some aliases. So I say orders is O and returns is R. So what does it mean? In this query, orders represent with a single letter O and returns is represented as a single letter R. So this is called the table alias. So now I can place like this: O dot order ID and R dot order ID. So in this case, R represents my returns table and O represents my order table. Output will remain same. Okay.
Sir,
Hmm.
R dot
Go ahead.
order ID, you kept it in square brackets.
Why?
Is the
Why,
syntax
right? Because of the space. Because whenever
because of
you are creating a correct, whenever you are creating a uh, column with a space, right? SQL Server will always put it inside your the square bracket, or we can do like this as well. This is also fine, I think. Whenever there is a space, we can't take it directly. Either you need to
okay.
put it in a square bracket or you need to double quotes.
I have one more doubt, sir. When you are joining
Good.
two tables on a on with a common column ID, with a
Mm-hmm.
common column,
Mm.
is it not necessary to have the same naming?
No, same name is not required, but the data type of the both the columns should be same. So here order ID, if you see here, there is a change, right? Order underscore ID, in
For
here
ID and
order
here
space ID.
space is so
But
if
still underlying data is same and the data type of both the columns are same. So we can
so
do
there
like
shouldn't be there isn't necessary that they both should have same names.
no, no compulsion.
Okay, sir. Yeah.
There is no compulsory rule that the column name should be same. If it is same, it is good. If it is not, that is also fine. Okay. Now we need to understand this, and instead of, let's put my record, select star from my orders. Let's say select count star from my orders and select counts one from my returns. So if I run this, I have around 994 rows in my order table and 296 rows I have in the returns. So it means that out of the 994 rows, 296 orders got written, right? So I have total 994 orders happened on my order table, and out of that, 296 order got written. This makes sense, right? First of all, now when I'm joining this two table, I'm getting only 800 rows. What does it mean? Can somebody explain me this?
Because we have put a condition that both the orders should match.
Okay,
So only
okay.
those orders are getting shown
Orders are shown.
when
Okay, so
when we are joining
whichever
the
the
table.
whichever order is present on the returns table and in the orders table, both it is there, that record it is giving me, correct?
Yes.
If I'm not wrong. So whichever records are available on my order table, and this is my order, this is in the return table, that is giving me the record. And this join is called your inner join. Okay, this type of join, equality join, is called your inner join. So whenever it will check the each order ID from the order table, it will check and compare the returns table order ID, and whichever is satisfied, it will give you all the records. Then it is called your inner join. And in this case, we can specify also inner join as well, like this. If you're not specifying inner, that is not compulsion, then by default it is a join, normal inner join. So inner is the keyword, is we can specify, and if you skip it, that is fine. Okay. Next type of join, which is very interesting and most frequently used, that is called your left join. Now, what happen if I give syntax will be very much same. There will be no syntactical change when you are writing your join condition. Only thing will change the join type. So let me check. So here is saying that join, right? So in a join, I will say left join. That's it. If you want to write, pull out everything. We'll discuss that. But this is we are setting the left instead of join normally. Now what happens if you execute it, we'll get around 999 rows again. Then what exactly happening here? Let's try to understand the data here using this output. Okay. Now let's go here. And if you see, this was not the earlier case. Are you getting any nulls on the order identity regions previously when you are doing normal joins? No, right?
No, no.
Now when you did a left join, couple of records, still profit is the data from the order table, correct? And this order ID and return regions are coming from my returns table. And now we are getting couple of order ID are null, and for few are we are getting the data. So what does it mean? By seeing that, just imagine that you are a customer and you are doing an order and that is getting stored in one table, and after that you are returning some order. So let's say you have order 10 items. So you have 10 orders. Out of the 10 orders, you return 5. So that entry is available on my returns table. Now when I am doing a normal join, how many records I should get it? Just
5.
think like that.
Only 5.
Okay. Only 5 because those 5s are matching. Now when you do a left join, so it is giving you all the records from your left table. Left table in the sense the word left is there, right? Previous to that, whichever table is there. Which table is there? Orders table. And after left, which table is there? Returns. So it will give you all the 10 records in this case from the orders. And for the 5 records, it will give you the order ID, and rest of the 5 null. Because rest of the 5, I don't have any data on the returns. This makes sense? Try to identify in this case. So first of all, I have 10 orders. Then I have written 5 orders. So when I'm normally joining, it will give you 5 records because both it will be equality condition. But when you do a left join, it will consider all the records from your left table. Left table in the sense whichever is left. In this case, my order table. So how many records I have in the order table? 10 records, right? Guys, are there?
Yes, yes, yes.
10 records I have. For the 10 records, when it compares the returns table, for the 5 record, it will give the data. Rest of the 5, it will give you null
Null.
because I don't have any, right?
Yeah. Yes.
So that's what is happening here in this case. So wherever you are getting the order ID, so what does it mean? Those are
In
return
the return
orders.
table.
Those are returned. And
Yes.
whichever is null, those are never returned. Right? This makes
Yes.
sense. Any questions, guys, up to here? Just do let me know. This is very much important. You need to understand this very much. Okay. Now on this one, suppose somebody asks you a question that how many orders are returned? And second question will be how many orders are not returned? Then how we will be answering this? Is already we have the data using the left join, and now you have this data. Now if you want to ask you this question, how many orders are returned? How will say?
Select star from the return table.
Which
Why
doesn't have
return
not
table?
null.
Just think like this is the output, guys. This is your output. Here you are getting couple of nulls for the return table and couple of data for that order ID. So whichever order ID is null, it was not written. Whatever there is order ID is there, that is written. Right?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
This funda is clear. Okay. Now
Yes.
if I ask you how many orders are returned, so wherever
That is
the
not
order ID or the return regions are there, it's
You have to
present.
count those values.
Yeah, correct.
not
And
null.
whenever there is a order ID or return region, anything is null, then those are
Not written.
not written.
Not returned value.
Right? So here how we can specify. And one more thing, the null or normally how we can say. Let's say after this I will say where. So I can take returns table, right? I will this order ID and this return region are coming from my returns table. So I can take R dot my return region, or I can take R dot order ID. That's fine. I can R dot order ID is, so whenever you are comparing a null, right, you need to give like this. We can't specify like this. So let's say R dot order ID equals to null. It will not give you any output blank, because null will be not compared to anything. And whenever you want to compare whether that column is null, you need to specify like this, is null. Then what happens? So I have 9194 rows. I have 9194 orders which were never written. Correct? Is this clear? Is this clear? First point.
Yes.
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 And if you say is not null, then I will get around 800 rows. So 800 orders were written. But exactly not 800, because couple of entries will be duplicated. If we consider a distinct, there will be 296 only, because there are different start date, all these things are there. Because same order ID can place in different order date and slip date, okay, by different customers. So we are getting duplicates here. All right, make sense? This question are clear?
Yes.
All right. So this is about the today's topic, guys, and we'll continue with the joins more. And I will give one, as I promised that I will give couple of exercise. This is the one assignment I'm planning to give you. Another assignment I will give you using this order by, group by, and slightly join. Is it possible? And you can do that by the next class, if possible, or you want some time?
I need some time. I
Okay. How
can
many days?
I can do it on Wednesday.
Okay. And what about
Yes,
others?
I lost connection. What is it? You were
No,
just
I'm
asking
saying
one question.
I'm asking that I will give two sets of different questions. Around 15 to 16 questions will be there. So the first 10 will be very fundamentals, and this
Okay.
5, 6, 7 will be the where clause, group by, order by, the joins little bit. So is
Okay.
it possible to complete by tomorrow?
Okay.
No. I'm not saying I'm asking question. It's possible or
Yes, sir.
not possible?
Yes, it is possible. Yeah, I can try at least.
Yeah, so I'm saying that try it out. Whether that is wrong, right, we'll discuss, but do try it out. Okay, please. Okay, yes. Then I'm done.